Orchestra seating here in Radio City Music Hall. Of the 6,145 ticket holders for the fight, almost all of them are on one side of the ring. With nearly 400 fights, Cuban Guillermo Rigondeaux had a storied amateur past, but with his career restricted in order to join the professional ranks, Rigondeaux chose to defect in 2009 to the United States.
Sí, una decisión bastante complicada, ya que deja toda tu familia atrás, que no lo puedes ver durante no se sabe qué tiempo, y es muy difícil, muy complicada. Casi siempre hablo con mi niño que está en Cuba, toda mi familia que están allá. Yo pienso que las situaciones cambian en Cuba, todo el mundo puede entrar y salir cuando a veces quiera. Pienso que se resuelve eso algún día. Estoy viviendo aquí en los Estados Unidos y pienso que todo me ha ido bastante bien. Mi carrera deportiva aquí, que es lo que ahora estoy ejerciendo al 100%. Pero soy americano, que se sepa.
Roy Jones, he has done the apprenticeship, in a manner of speaking. He's gone 12 rounds twice. He's been knocked down and got up. He's beaten good opponents and bad ones. Does that make him, after 11 pro fights, a fully formed professional fighter?
Yeah, it makes him a fully formed professional fighter. However, this is what you got to remember. He has a career at 3-round fights. He only has 2 fights that he's gone 12 rounds.
So there's a vast difference in experience, as Donaire has pointed out many times coming into the fight.
Certainly on the professional level, but Rigondeaux has shown his ability to adapt. When he fought Cordoba over 12, that was a very different story than several fights later when he fought Marroquin over 12. He was far more prepared. The learning curve was very steep with him, which you'd expect after 400 amateur fights and only a handful of losses.
And now here's a look at Nonito Donaire. As has been discussed, Donaire was voted 2012 Fighter of the Year for his accomplishments inside the ring. Outside the ring, he and his wife Rachel are now expecting a new addition to the family in a couple of months, holding the promise that 2013 can be an even better year.
I made my baby in 2012, so what can I say? Jarrell, that's the boy's name. It's Jarrell. You know, my family called me June, so June and Rachel's everlasting love is Jarrell.
Yeah, he has my ears already. It's crazy, you know. Kids are gonna be calling him Dumbo when he grows up.
Nothing more can ever take the feeling that I do have for this kid, for this baby, for this thing that's inside my wife's belly, you know.
In the ultrasound, like, he's like this the whole time. Like, all the pictures that we have, he's like this. And then every time that I talk to him, he starts to move, he starts to punch, you know.
After this fight, you know, I'm gonna definitely take time off to be with my baby every moment.
You wanna box? Because I know you're moving out there, I can feel you.
Even if it's 2 or 3 o'clock, I wake up, you know. I mean, I'm all right with that. It's something that I'm looking forward to.
Max Kellerman, he has been training for the fight in Northern California during the week, spending weekends with wife Rachel and the baby in expectation at a new home in Las Vegas. He's been away from his trainer, Robert Garcia. Yesterday, he had trouble making weight. Thursday night, he was up late accepting the Fighter of the Year award. Is he, though a great fighter and a proven one, ripe for the plucking tonight?
Absolutely, and he's aware of the fact that he's vulnerable, which is why he said he got up at 4 in the morning to run for this one.
Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Radio City Music Hall, New York City, New York, USA, where tonight Mr. Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated, in association with Caribe Promotions, is proud to present the main event of the evening, 12 rounds of boxing for the WBA WBO Super Bantamweight Championship of the World. Sponsored by Tecate, Cerveza con Carácter, and sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission, Chairman Melvina Lathan, WBO President Francisco Paco Barcarcel, WBA President Gilberto Mendoza. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring this contest will be Julie Letterman, Tom Schreck, and John Stewart. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, your referee, Benji Estevez. And now, the officials are ready. The fighters are ready. So for the thousands in attendance here at Radio City Music Hall, New York, and the millions watching around the world on HBO, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Fighting out of the blue corner, standing with trainer Pedro Diaz, wearing green with white, officially weighing in at 121 1/2 pounds. A perfect professional record consisting of 11 fights, 11 victories, including 8 knockouts. Originally from Cuba, but now living, training, and fighting out of Miami, Florida, USA, the 2-time world amateur champion, 2-time Olympic gold medal champion, and now the reigning, defending WBA super bantamweight champion of the world, Guillermo El Chacal Rigandeo. And fighting out of the red corner with his trainer, Robert Garcia. Official weight, also 121 1/2 pounds. Wearing yellow with black. As a professional, he is undefeated for over 12 years, and his record now stands at 31 victories, including 20 knockouts, with only 1 defeat. From General Santos City, Philippines, the 4-division world champion, the reigning, defending WBO super bantamweight champion of the world, the Filipino Flash, Nonito Donaire.
Let me do the next round. Ready? Okay, go. Okay, man. Voy a repetir mis instrucciones. I will repeat my instructions. Quiero una pelea profesional y limpia. I want a nice, professional, clean fight. Obedezcan mis instrucciones durante la pelea todo el tiempo. Obey my commands at all times. Que gane el mejor, touch him up.
Suerte, Pedro.
Hard to imagine either one of these 2 guys losing, but one of them probably will. And therefore, this moment, right now, before the bell, before we find out who that's going to be, is charged with electricity, and Jim, is my favorite moment in professional sports.
Been a long time since I've been nervous before a fight.
Are you nervous for one or the other, Roy, or just nervous about what both can do?
Just nervous about what both can do.
Round 1. There's a fear among some media members that because both fighters are natural counterpunchers who prefer to counterpunch, that the action may not start right away. Both fighters understand that significant question, and both have promised that they want to be aggressive. And already there's an exchange.
And Donaire was rocked back
by a left hand off of the stance of Rigondeaux. There's another left hand over the top by Rigondeaux.
And Donaire got hit with that because he's going for that home run left hook. A great defensive fighter, and Rigondeaux is one, can take away one thing from his opponent, and Rigondeaux, Roy, is determined to take that hook away from Donaire.
Yeah, but he got caught with it right before he landed that overhand left. I was about to say, both guys landed a pretty good shot on one another. So we still have a pretty even fight right now.
So they've said hello, and now the conversation continues. Donaire with a body shot with the right hand.
The speed and precision and skill is absurd at this point.
You mentioned what a defender Rigondeaux is, Max. His CompuBox numbers defensively compare favorably to those of Floyd Mayweather. Now, the opposition obviously hasn't been the same, but at least so far in his professional career, he's the hardest guy to hit of any top professional fighter.
They're probing each other, and they're being careful, but they're in punching range, Roy. They're not fighting scared.
I told you they wouldn't fight scared because both guys have a point to prove here. Oh, good shot by Rigondeaux.
Absolutely. Rigondeaux landing again with the left hand, and there's another straight left hand on the chin of Donaire.
Donaire showing a little frustration there, I think.
Well, it's not frustration from not being able to land, it's frustration from getting hit a little. This is something that he is not really accustomed to this early in a fight. So Rigondeaux has definitely got his respect early, but I think he's also gotten Rigondeaux's respect.
It's been a far more active first round than some at ringside feared would be the case. Hard right hand by Rigondeaux.
That was a good right hook by Rigondeaux.
It sure was.
Donaire cannot wait on Rigondeaux because Rigondeaux has far more experience when it comes to dealing with the style.
It's not just the speed and precision here. Both guys have ended fights with one shot, with either hand.
And both of them are trying to end this one with one shot.
Donaire showing a little caution now
10 seconds,
as we come down the stretch of round one. Again, he gets a right hand to the body, but Donaire has seen his initial offensive instincts somewhat blunted by the counter-punching of Rigondeaux in round one.
A brilliant boxing exhibition from both.
Okay, make sure that you're using that jab and stepping to your left, okay? Don't just stand in front of him.
How do you feel his power, right?
Good.
Huh? How do you feel it? No? Nothing? Okay then. I want you to see, try to keep your mouth shut a little more, especially when you guys are close to each other. Don't fight with your mouth open, okay? Step around, step to your left, step to your left, double jab and aim at the chest, okay? If you throw straight to the head, it's...
Right? Fake one, put it one time. Fake him. We got him already. You good? Long hands, long shots. Rigondeaux keep that head low in this area. After the combination, lands a beautiful overhand left because he kept that head low and he stayed close to the flash.
The Filipino Flash, Nonito Donaire. CompuBox numbers for power punches in round one. Donaire, 5 of 18. Rigondeaux, 8 of 13. At least two previous Rigondeaux trainers, Ronnie Shields and Freddie Roach, both have stated that they tried to get him to think and act more offensively in the ring. Maybe they're getting what they asked for now after the first round.
I don't think he has much choice, Jim. When you got a guy like the great Nonito Donaire in your face coming at you with the shots that he's throwing, you got to do something to keep him off of you. But Donaire definitely has to do something about Rigondeaux's right hook.
Donaire likes to capitalize on mistakes, and Rigondeaux makes fewer than most.
Very few mistakes. And people have to not underestimate the fact that, you know, to win 2 gold medals says a lot. When you go to the Olympics, you know, in NBA basketball, every 3 or 4 years, a Carmelo or LeBron James or a Kobe comes along. Well, that same thing happens at every Olympic game. And to win 2 gold medals means you defeated that twice.
2 gold medals in the Olympics, 2 world championships, a Pan American Games gold medal, 400 amateur fights, of which he is said to have won 388. It's an astonishing record.
And the first round so far from Nonito Donaire, I think, Jim.
Donaire trying to go to the body here early in round 2. Now we're midway through the round. Rigondeaux a little bit less offensive in this round than was the case in the first.
Well, he's trying to make Donaire make mistakes now. Make Donaire come in. He just landed a great body shot on Donaire's body, a left hand.
Donaire wasn't even close with the counter right.
Hard left hand over the top by Rigondeaux.
So far, Rigondeaux is outboxing Donaire.
And finding the target.
Yeah, because Donaire is probably looking for the knockout. He came in suggesting, just like anybody else would, that Rigondeaux may have a weak chin, but like you said, Max, he also happens to have the best defense in the game.
A lot of times those two things go hand in hand.
Right hand of the body has been the basic staple for Donaire here in the second round. Rigondeaux has landed that left hand over the top a couple of times.
Donaire is moving Rigondeaux clockwise, which is where you want to move a southpaw, but Rigondeaux still having success going in that direction.
400 fights, Max. He can have success going in the direction that he wants to go.
10 seconds, 10 segundos.
Of course, that will negate Donaire's left hook, which is Rigondeaux's plan, moving in that direction.
April 27, live from Argentina. It's middleweight champ Sergio Martinez against Martin Murray. And from California, a heavyweight clash between Chris Arreola and Berman Stavern. There's Gennady Golovkin seated at ringside. News conference in New York today to announce his June 29 showdown against the very brave Matthew Macklin in the middleweight division. There's the Irish Macklin. He was at the Boxing Writers Dinner the other night. We had a tremendous turnout of boxing talent at that event. You saw Macklin's brave effort against Sergio Martinez last March in Manhattan. This was the news conference that took place this afternoon in Manhattan, and there's the official stare down at news conference number 1 between Golovkin on the left and Macklin on the right. CompuBox numbers in round 2. Donaire 6 out of 31, only 19%. Rigondeaux 9 out of 33. Not a particularly active round, though it was still intense.
If Rigondeaux is successful in taking that left hook away from Donaire.
Right hand on the hook, this time again by Rigondeaux.
And countering and pot-shotting, as Roy said in his preview, as he's been in the first 2 rounds.
He can't afford to stay there and throw more than one, because if he gets caught in the middle of those punches, he may go down.
Well, if he's successful doing that, defensive fighters, the mark of a great one is it's hard to hit him with 2 in a row. You can clip him with 1, but not 2 in a row. Donaire's got to land something hard with that right hand.
Well, he landed another body shot a moment ago, and he appears to be focusing on digging the right hand to the body early. Probably trying to take something out of Rigondeaux for the later rounds.
What he has to do, though, Jim, is he can't get over anxious here and try to go for the gamble and get the big shot. He has to continue to take his time, but he got to make Rigondeaux use his hands for defense to keep him at home more.
It appears both fighters are now quite aware of the danger they're dealing with super quick counterpunchers in front of them.
Donaire is learning that this ain't Darchinian or Montiel or Nishioka, and they're all good fighters, all quality fighters, but Rigondeaux is a different animal.
Yeah, you hope Donaire doesn't get impatient here and run into a big shot.
Rigondeaux challenging Donaire to find his open head and slipping the punch.
Well, Donaire got lucky then because he slipped a shot.
Great left uppercut inside by Rigondeaux.
Yeah, he was open for an uppercut. Thank God Rigondeaux didn't throw it.
Another thing we could be seeing here, Donaire could have been deceived when he watched video of Rigondeaux, because who can bring this out in a fighter? Another great fighter brings this out in a great fighter. 2
left hands from Rigondeaux. He's found it easier to find Donaire than Donaire has been able to find him.
And presented with a great fighter, a guy with similar talent, Rigondeaux has elevated his game here.
Again, the right hand to the body by Donaire. And again, Rigondeaux lands with the right hook inside.
Rigondeaux is very comfortable right now, so Donaire needs to do something to throw him off a little.
He's taking Donaire to school a bit here in these first 3 rounds so far.
Roy, Rigondeaux does something you used to do quite frequently. He sets up as if to throw a jab and leads with a hook instead. Hard right hand by Donaire on the face of Rigondeaux. Best punch of the fight so far for Donaire. Another big left hand for Rigondeaux. Wanted to answer back.
Rigondeaux answered right back like champions do. Landed 2 and landed them both harder, I thought.
Carmelo Anthony at ringside, what a red-hot streak he's been on. The Knicks winning streak finally ended at 13 last night, but Anthony has been sensational.
That's it.
Stay low. He's not going to catch you by surprise. Keep your hands up so he doesn't surprise you. Keep your hands up so he doesn't surprise you. And stay low. That's it. That's it. And change up the hands. Change the hands. You understand? Vary your rhythm. You understand? What you hear? How you feeling? Good? Well, let's go. Chop, I'm chopping. Now change it up now. Right up top, right to the bottom.
Nonito Donaire was a 2-to-1 favorite or better in some places coming into the fight. Nonito Donaire has fallen behind a little bit in CompuBox numbers to the so far more accurate Rigondeaux. Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Jim, you know, I'll tell you something. I'm really surprised at this fight. I got a 3-0, 30-27 Guillermo Rigondeaux. You know, Jim, he's getting off, and Donaire isn't. And that's basically the fight. Look at this. The guy throws 4 or 5 punches, and Donaire doesn't throw one. I mean, Nonito Donaire is not in his rhythm yet. He's got to start moving his hands. He's got to start punching. Rigondeaux's circling the wrong way, just like Max said. Southpaw's going to the right, he's going to the left, but he's getting off. He's landing punches, winning the rounds. 3-0, Rigondeaux.
Within the past 24 hours, various signs emerged suggesting that perhaps Donaire's preparation for the fight was not optimum. So far, it appears in the ring that may be the case. Or perhaps it's just that Rigondeaux is all that, and everything his amateur record suggested is true.
And that's what I think the case may be, Jim. I think he's all that, and everything that his amateur record has indicated is definitely true.
Well, Donaire has shown fight-ending power, as we mentioned. There he landed a couple good right hands. He's knocked out some world-class fighters with that right hand, and Rigondeaux does not have the best rep in terms of his chin, but he took him pretty well.
Well, he makes it a little bit easier on himself because he's throwing such a hard counterpunch back. So when a guy's punching that hard back, you can't quite commit to it as much as Donaire has been able to commit to it in previous fights.
But I think what's most stunning for a lot of ringsiders to see is that Rigondeaux's reflexes are so good and his hands are so fast that quite often Donaire will move as if to throw a punch, and Rigondeaux pot shots him first.
Yep.
Rigondeaux his skills are a little sharper so far, and that's one of the reasons, Jim, he was only a 2-to-1 underdog in spite of only having 11 pro fights and facing a guy who's laid waste to multiple weight classes.
Looping left hand by Rigondeaux, not as hard as most of the punches he's landed so far. Donaire looking apparently to try to throw that right to the body again. Rigondeaux quite aware of it now. He gets in a left hand to the body. Hard shot.
Yeah, he throwing some really hard shots, Jim, with bad intent on it. Bad intent.
Low blow by Rigondeaux. Benji Esteves right there to step in and see it. Checks if Donaire is okay. Makes a verbal warning to Rigondeaux.
Oh,
big
good
left
hook.
hand by Donaire.
Oh, good shot by, oh my goodness.
They're trading punches now.
A fight just broke out.
These are nuclear bombs they're trading.
That left hook was exactly the explosion that they were looking for. What a left hand shot by Rigondeaux.
These are not great action fighters, but they're both great punchers.
Next on HBO, a replay of the Real Sports episode featuring the one and only Iron Mike Tyson. See what he's up to today.
He's expecting you to reset, okay? Attack once, he has this, then go right back on him one more time, okay? The second attack, the renewed attack.
When you land a good punch, don't get careless, okay? Don't go wild, okay? Be very alert. Yes. Yes.
Rachel Donaire expecting the first Donaire child in a matter of about 2 months. Maybe a little more than that. Seated at ringside here as she always is. Very much a part of Nonito's career, not just his life.
Donaire countered a hook right here off of Rigondeaux, but Rigondeaux came right back afterwards with his own shot. Very impressive.
That was the biggest and best punch of the fight so far for Donaire. Rigondeaux has had a small festival of them. Harold Letterman still hasn't found a round to give to Nonito Donaire. Reigning champion in the 122-pound weight class, favorite in the fight, falling behind early, at least by our lights, against Guillermo Rigondeaux.
It's an old saying in boxing, class tells over time. And Donaire thought going into this fight, Rigondeaux used to the shorter distances, Donaire's class would tell over time, and that remains to be seen. But so far, it's Rigondeaux's, where he had smaller margins in the first round and maybe second round. He seemed to widen them every round, maybe until that fourth.
Beautiful footwork by Rigondeaux, sets up the straight left hand.
Two things I got to say Rigondeaux also is doing here. For one, that left body shot that he threw earlier was a very devastating punch. Although it was low, it makes you realize how much of a puncher you're dealing with. Second, when they get in the trenches, if you notice, he grabs a really tight grip on Donaire to make sure he lets Donaire feel his power. So that's another thing that keeps Donaire at bay a little bit.
Let's go.
And there's Benji Esteves telling Rigondeaux not to hold Donaire's head.
So far, I'm also getting the feeling that Donaire's looking at Rigondeaux, saying, I haven't seen this quite before. And Rigondeaux's not looking at Donaire the same way.
Oh, no. Rigondeaux has seen this before. Like I said before, if you win 2 gold medals, you've seen Kobe, LeBron, Dwayne Wade. You've seen everybody. 2 gold medals? Come on.
Donaire cut short his amateur career and then lost his second professional fight. That was more than 12 years ago. But generally speaking, Donaire's entire education has taken place in the professional prize fight ring.
And he hasn't really come close to losing as a world-class fighter. The closest was the Matabula fight, and he knocked Matabula down and broke his jaw.
Well, and he's beaten highly respected opponents in wipeouts. Big Tarchinian with a big left hook knockout. Fernando Montiel with a sensational big second round left hook knockout.
All them names you calling, Jim, none of them can almost add up to what is in front of him right now.
That's what Guillermo, that's what Donaire is learning as of this moment.
Well, he's got to change something, Roy, and the question becomes pretty soon, what does he have to change?
Well, he's just looking to land that big shot right now, and hopefully he's looking at the later rounds.
Six is coming. We're going to work. We're going to turn them. And keep your hands up. Okay, keep your hands up.
Next on HBO, replay of Real Sports featuring Mike Tyson. And look for the next edition Tuesday. You'll meet a generous pro boxer, Boyd Nelson, who's in attendance tonight and donates all of his earnings to spinal cord research. April 27 from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Hometown hero Sergio Martinez, coming home for the first time in 12 years, defends his middleweight crown against undefeated Englishman Martin Murray. Also that night, a heavyweight battle in California between Chris Arreola and Berman Stavern. CompuBox numbers in the 5th round. Donaire was able to throw only 20 punches and landed only 3. Rigondeaux threw 30 and landed 10. So we have deteriorated to that point where 2 counterpunchers aren't throwing all that much and spend a lot of time waiting for the next big moment. But those moments are exciting enough and tense enough that there's still drama.
Well, Rigondeaux has disciplined Donaire, especially with that left to the body that Roy pointed out, that quasi-low blow. And Donaire's keeping his hands at home more because it hurts when they leave home.
Whether it's a clean shot or not.
and this kind of sick thing here is I can't think of another 122-pounder who would fare very well with this version of Donaire tonight.
Well, you made the point. These are the 2 best fighters in the division. And now the crowd begins to ask for more from the counterpunching duo.
This fight is going to break down along purist and non-purist lines. If you're a boxing purist, this is beautiful to watch, but it's not for everyone.
Yeah, and Donaire just took a shot at him right there. those things he has to be very careful of because Rigondeaux is a slick guy. You can't go at him with big shots because it opens you up to be caught with the same thing. And he's so fast, and he just explodes so quick until you can't leave yourself open that long.
What about trying to get his jab going, Roy, talking about Donaire as he takes a left hand right on the button from Guillermo Rigondeaux? Is there simply no point against Rigondeaux's defensive skills in trying to work his jab?
Not really, because throwing his jab, you see Rigondeaux using his jab instead. So if he put his hand on top of Rigondeaux's hand and use his jab, yes. But what he's been doing is that Rigondeaux's been leading with the hook, and that's discouraging his jab, like that right there. That's discouraging Nonito's jab. Nonito should be doing the same thing to Rigondeaux.
I mean, the feinting even that's going on here, the subtle skill being displayed by both fighters, the reason their hands aren't moving more is because of what the other guy can do, feinting offense, defense, and countering with power.
Rigondeaux in this round in particular has begun to use his hand feints even more, trying to hypnotize Donaire a little bit and then explode with one of those big shots.
Well, you know, it's like with the Cuban fighters, they use their legs very smart and very efficiently. This is what he's doing to Donaire right now. When Donaire tries to attack, he's attacking with feints. So Rigondeaux uses his feet to get him way out of harm's way. But when Rigondeaux attacks, he attacks with that either that hook first or his jab first, like he did right there.
Little left to the body by Donaire. Some people in the crowd beginning to boo. I asked Nonito Donaire about this 2 weeks ago, and he said, oh, yes, I know. I sold the tickets. I'm the reason the fight is on HBO. I have to make the fire. March 16, Ruslan Provodnikov fought that brilliant duel in Carson, California against Timothy Bradley. And both are here tonight. Tim Bradley working with the Colonel, Bob Sheridan, on the international feed of this broadcast, and Provodnikov enjoying the social action at ringside.
When you're cutting the ring, you're throwing one punch at a time. We need to see a few more punches. And start out with the body, okay? Body, and then go upstairs. Let's go to the body first. Okay, at the chest. Aim at the chest. All right? All right, so we got to start picking it up. Let's go. You're throwing one punch at a time, and very few.
You see Rigondeaux down here, load his head, but he keeps his stuff right up in that area, so when he comes back, bam, they lands a straight left hand right down the pipe.
By far the best punch of the round. We have made it to the halfway point of the fight. And now Harold Lederman prepares to tell us where he has it as we get to the 7th of his scheduled 12. Harold, how do you have it so far?
I don't know, Jim. I ain't watching a fight. I mean, Guillermo Rigondeaux is doing all the punching. Nonito Donaire's got his mouth open and he won't move his hands. I mean, can you imagine 3 punches landed in a round by a great champion like Nonito Donaire? It's just unbelievable. The guy's got to start going to work. 6-0. 60-54, Guillermo Rigondeaux. He's landed all the shots. Donaire's got to get off. He's got to do something. He's got to move his hands. Guillermo Rigondeaux just landed most of the shots. 6-0.
And now it appears that Donaire understands that he needs to become more aggressive. Let's go to his corner where Max Kellerman is with trainer Robert Garcia.
Robert, what do you see so far?
Well, it's a difficult fight. You know, Rigondeaux's coming up with a good game plan. He's boxing and fighting on the outside, and that's where Nonito's made a few mistakes. But we're trying to tell him to cut the ring a little bit more. You know, stay a little more busy. We've got to start pressuring a little more. We're halfway through now, so we got to pressure a little more.
So you don't feel that Nonito has to change something dramatically here?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, we got to really pressure more, and when he does, that seems to be working a little. But it's still pretty difficult fight.
How has Rigondeaux been able to put your guy into such a chess match?
Well, that's just the way Rigondeaux fights. You know, he's a very, very smart fighter, very smart inside the ring, and we can't fall in his game plan. We can't make mistakes.
When do you start to panic a little bit in terms of the scorecards?
No, well, you know, we got to respect what the judges say, but you know, I think so far it's a good fight. It's a close fight. We're not. I don't think we're behind. We might be 3-3 right now. That's what I'm seeing right now. I don't know.
Thanks, Robert.
Got it.
He's dreaming. There's no way it's 3-3. Roy Jones, I don't think for a second that Nonito Donaire ever fully understood what he was up against here tonight.
I think he kind of understood it. However, he may have understood it a little late. And to Rigondeaux, it happened for him at a good time because there were so many other things that Donaire could focus on instead of him.
Yeah, Donaire hasn't won a round yet.
At least not by our lights.
And a couple times I thought he was about to with a kind of stunning punch, but Rigondeaux came right back in every case with a more effective punch or two.
Yeah, and Donaire's starting to swell up a little bit.
Swelling around both eyes, Nonito Donaire. I'd feel a lot better about his chances of coming back in the fight if Robert Garcia hadn't said, oh, I think it's 3 rounds to 3.
Right, if he said, well, pretty soon we're going to have to rough this guy up, really work his body, do something different. But just doing what you're doing, only doing it harder, may not be the formula here. Look, Donaire does have fight-ending power, and there's plenty of time to go.
Many in the crowd are wondering what it is they're seeing. They bought into the notion that they would watch the great Nonito Donaire score another dramatic conquest. That's not what's happening.
Breathe. Everything happens in that ring because you want it to happen right now, okay? You're letting him dictate the pace of this fight, okay? He's doing what he wants to, okay? Not you're following him around. You need to cut the ring off, right? You need to be looking at your jab. You need to be throwing more than one punch, okay? Okay? It happens because you decide that it happens, right? Not
you letting him fight his fight, okay? Nonito, we got to do something. We got to give him more rhythm, side to side and counter and side to side. Let's find something. We got to find that, okay? We can't just throw.
Don't stand still. He wants you to stand still. Don't stand still. Don't stand still in front of him. Let's go. Don't stand still and keep your hands up. Keep your hands up so he comes in and swing.
Well, you saw the CompuBox number graphic, which showed you that through 7 rounds, Rigondeaux has landed more punches in every single round so far. Last round, Donaire was 6 of 27. Rigondeaux was 9 of 30. They're not exactly burning down the house offensively, but as I say, there's intensity every time they exchange.
Yeah, this is a World Series game, a 1-0 game so far, a 2-0 game. And for those who say, how could you so definitively give all these rounds to Rigondeaux when the difference in punches landed is sometimes 3 or 4 punches? In this case, they're landing such definite, clear, clean shots when they do land. I don't find this very difficult to score.
And it's not even about that, Max. It's about command. It's about ring generalship. It's about who's the boss in there doing what he wants to do.
Who would you rather be?
100%. And that's abundantly clear from round to round. This is Rigondeaux's fight.
And Rigondeaux's jab and his jab hand is what's winning the fight for him mainly right now. He keeps that jab hand a little bit above Donaire's jab hand, and when it's not above it, he flicks it out a little bit, not trying to hit with it, just to keep it in the guy's face.
And the boos are getting louder. And once again, that conversation I had with Donaire 2 weeks ago, I understand. I have to make the action. That's what Robert Garcia was finally saying to him between rounds. Let's find something. We have to build up the heat.
Can't let Rigondeaux keep just having target practice.
Donaire lands a jab, can't find Rigondeaux for the follow-up. Well, it's abundantly clear at this point Rigondeaux isn't going to do anything to change the pace of the fight. It is up to Nonito Donaire to try to rescue his chances. Now let's listen in to Robert Garcia.
Keep going, come on, you gotta stay close to him and throw more than one punch. Come on, let's go. Right uppercut. Keep going.
Not just one.
You're throwing one punch at a time. I want to see more.
Put them together. Put the punches together.
Right there. Keep going. He's backing up.
Get on him.
Come on, let's go. Come on, stay on him. Jab, jab. Come on. He bends down to his right there. That's where the right uppercut goes. Come on, stay on him. Come on, let's go. You gotta find it.
Hooking and the right. Hooking and the right.
Nonito Donaire acknowledged to us yesterday afternoon that most of his preparation with Robert Garcia for this fight took place over the telephone. Garcia was the 2012 Trainer of the Year, just as Donaire was the 2012 Fighter of the Year. On this occasion, they may have misfired. 2 more solid shots from Guillermo Rigondeaux.
You had a quieter round this round, actually, Rigondeaux. It's a closer round, I felt.
April 27, live from Argentina, It's middleweight champ Sergio Martinez against Martin Murray. And from California, the heavyweight clash between Chris Arreola and Berman Stiverne. And you saw him on HBO prior to this telecast. Louis C.K., he's everywhere tonight, as there he is at ringside with us.
Vivo.
Lively, lively. You got to put your right in. Let's go. You doing good? No more Vaseline. Don't put any more Vaseline on it. All right, let's go. Let's go. He's turning into your right hand. And bam! Change it up.
Donaire with only one knockout past the 8th round, so his chances seem to be dimming. Donaire was 5 out of 33 in the 8th round. The 33 means that he jacked up the action just a little bit. Couldn't really get that much done. Rigondeaux was 10 of 31. Another round in which Rigondeaux landed more punches than Donaire, and you see Harold Letterman's scorecard. It's a whitewash so far.
Shutting out Nonito Donaire, who, by the way, may be a victim of his success in a sense, where he was fighting world-class fighters, but beating them with such ease. They weren't really competing with him, and you can get into some bad habits. For example, looking for one punch, not having to hone and refine your skills in the same way that you would were you not quite as good.
Well, I can't really say that, because when he fought Nishida, that was a good tune-up fight for this fight. That was the guy he had to chase, who was a southpaw, to get himself used to or comfortable being in front of a southpaw. So I don't think necessarily that he didn't take the right fights or had too easier of fights.
Nishioka wasn't really competitive.
No, he wasn't, but he was a southpaw that you had to figure out how to hit. He was a test. That's why I think he even took the fight.
Donaire got in the right hand, and Rigondeaux answered with a left. Donaire just missed with a left hook. It was a glancing blow.
Rigondeaux definitely didn't miss with that counter straight left.
Donaire misses with a right.
I do feel over the last maybe 2 rounds that Rigondeaux is fighting Rigondeaux, excuse me, is fighting, as I say that, he throws a punch.
An uppercut.
Maybe a little too defensively, to the point where he's maybe making rounds closer than they need to be. And maybe that's partly because of Donaire's consistent, if not effective, pressure.
Well, he may be shaving it pretty fine, but he's landing when he wants to. And he still seems to be totally in command of the ring generalship element of this. Yeah, fighting the fight that he wants to fight.
Yeah, he's totally in command of the fight right now. And for him, he just wants to ease on down the road, make Donaire take all the chances, stay outside, like I said earlier before the fight. If he can stay on the outside, he's safer. He doesn't have to worry about that left hook. And this is how he planned on winning the fight.
New York City is a place where, on occasion, we have been confounded by official judges' scores, which are entirely different than what we've seen. Max, Roy, do you see any chance that we're getting this all wrong and official judges are going to have it much closer than we think?
Julie Letterman's a judge tonight, so she'll have it right. She always does.
My indication is that usually, and I must say usually, Harold Letterman is right on the button.
La campana, the bell.
I agree with that. I think both Lettermans are very good judges.
But you hear the boos from the crowd. It's Rigondeaux who's drawing those boos, even as he's outboxing Donaire.
And I asked Rigondeaux yesterday if he cared about that, and he said absolutely not. April 27, a fascinating doubleheader from Argentina. Native son Sergio Martinez returns home to defend his title against undefeated Englishman Martin Murray. Also that night, a heavyweight clash in California between heavy hitters Chris Arreola and Berman Stiverne. May 25, around the world we go. First, live at 6:30 p.m. It's Carl Froch against Mikael Kessler, coming to you from London, England. You'll see it again on our 10 p.m. broadcast, followed by a live fight from Montreal, Lucien Boutte against Jean Pascal for Canadian bragging rights.
Don't give him a distance. Don't give him a distance. Use your hand. Be careful with his hand, because he's going to catch you. Keep your hands up all the time. Here. Hands up. Hands up. Let's go.
Jabs through 9 rounds, according to comparable. And that's not a knockdown. That's being ruled a slip.
Donaire came out in this round with an absolutely different attitude. He ran towards Rigondeaux, took a shot to give a shot. His shot was harder, and then he threw Rigondeaux down.
Harold, what's your score?
I tell you, Jim, you should have been doing that 10 rounds ago. I'm getting 90 to 81, 9 rounds to nothing, Guillermo Rigondeaux. Jim, this guy is terribly prepared, just terribly. I don't know if he hit a speed bag or what, but you know, he can't hit Rigondeaux. He's not trying.
There's a brilliant left hook by Donaire. He finally got himself into position to land something and landed it very big. Now let's see if he can follow up.
He better be careful, Jim, because this is just going to make Rigondeaux fight back harder.
Well, maybe we'll get to see something more exciting. That was good.
He's going to have to take chances like that to try to win this fight, Roy. It's because he took that chance that he scored that knockdown.
That's exactly right. I didn't say he didn't have to take chances. I said he has to be careful taking the chances. There he is. Good shot again. Now he's making a fight out of it. And there he took a left hand.
And that's what you were talking about.
Exactly.
Another left hook. Second one misses. Rigondeaux holds out his hands as if to say, I'm fine. You're not bothering me at all. Donaire is looking to tee up one more left hook. Right hand by Donaire and a left hand by Rigondeaux.
Donaire knows he has to risk getting knocked out to win this fight.
100%. He's going to have to take shots to get him in.
And he's willing to risk it. He's showing us that he's willing to risk it.
Because he has that kind of power. If he detonates on you, you got to go.
And Jim, I saw the caption of the upcoming fights. I must say my man Pascal did pick Rigondeaux, but we'll see if that's yet to come. Good hook.
Right hand by Rigondeaux. Excellent hook. There's that lead hook again that we talked about, Roy.
That's what I think has been the biggest factor in the fight for Rigondeaux.
Donaire's never had a knockout past the 9th round. By our lights, he needs it tonight.
Oh!
Great left hand shot by Rigondeaux. Donaire's got a great chin. He's walking through that stuff.
That really is a great chin, and I must tell you that I guarantee you he may be 8 or 9 pounds heavier than Rigondeaux. That's not hurting him either.
We did not get unofficial weights here tonight. In the state of New York, we are not allowed to weigh the fighters unofficially before the fight.
Because of Rigondeaux's counter-punching power and his rhythm, he's turned this round gradually back into the speed he wants it, to Rigondeaux's advantage.
But for the first time in the fight, Donaire has won a round, and he won it 10-8. So a small comeback for Nonito Donaire, who still, by our lights, doesn't have a chance to win it on the scorecards.
Vamos, que cojones, no pasa nada con qué. Damn it.
Atiende aquí, vamos a recuperarlo.
Pay attention to what you're doing.
Coño.
Listen to me, damn it.
Ahí es ahí. Vamos para el 11, compadre.
That's right, listen, we're going up to the 11th, brother. We're going into 11. Hands up.
He see Guillermo Rigondeaux stay kind of high right here after they came together. And after he stayed high, he got caught with a beautiful overhand hook, like a left hand instead of a right hand. Once again, you see he stayed high after they came together, right here. Donaire pushed him off with one hand, turned southpaw and throwed a beautiful overhand left and caught him right down the middle.
Here's Andre Ward at ringside, warming up for whatever his next bout might take place. Power shots in the 10th round. Donaire, 15 out of 29. By far his high numbers for the fight. If you were waiting for the great power-punching Nonito Donaire to show up, he finally did it, at least for a brief stretch of time in the 10th round. He needs more. He needs to overwhelm Rigondeaux with activity.
Well, that's very difficult, Jim, because when you come at him, he's still forcing you to take the gamble, but he's throwing some remarkable power shots while Donaire is gambling.
Nope, but I mean, yeah, you're exactly right. But Donaire has already proven he has a terrific chin. He's going to have to bank on that chin and gamble in these last 2 rounds to have any chance to win the fight.
Yeah, we saw Chavez Jr. do this against Sergio Martinez in a fight he was hopelessly behind and practically stopped Martinez in the 12th round, but not quite. But Martinez, I got the feeling, was expending more energy to keep Chavez Jr. off than Rigondeaux is here to keep Donaire off.
Way more. It was a way more active fight. Yeah, Martinez was throwing 80, 90 punches per round. There's another good combination by Donaire, who got in a right and a left hook.
Yeah, but he took a left hand coming in.
And it was Rigondeaux who established position, moving Donaire, switching him to the ropes.
And the other thing I see is the Grant gloves look a lot smaller than does the Everlast gloves.
So what does that mean, Roy?
Well, that he's got on more of a puncher's glove than does Donaire. The Everlast glove looks a little bigger, looks like more of a pillow, whereas the Grant glove looks more like a knuckle.
Just to clarify, Donaire's wearing Everlast, and Rigondeaux is wearing Grant.
And to me, it's just like a bullet. The smaller it is, the quicker it travels.
Good left hand by Rigondeaux. Donaire can't find him to retaliate.
Well, that's why you can't follow a southpaw around. He'll lead you into the left hand every time.
It's also one thing to run out to start the round and see if you can get something off quick. It's another thing to sustain that pressure over the full 3 minutes. And Rigondeaux's been able to tame Donaire in the last 2 rounds by about the middle of the round.
Yeah, when you got a guy throwing bombs at you, Max, you ain't got no other choice but to respect that. You can't just run over that. Rigondeaux is a real puncher, just as Donaire is. That left hand right there is what's keeping Donaire kind of at bay some.
Nonito Donaire's face shows you the damage he's incurred following Guillermo Rigondeaux around the ring for 11 rounds and getting popped with counter punches over and over.
Well, he got 2 points for the knockdown in the last round. If he
told
made
you
a
about-
couple of others close enough, who knows?
Nonito Donaire's wife, Rachel, very much involved in his career, lives and dies with him here at
Last 3
ringside.
minutes, Nonito. Last 3 minutes.
Wonder what her expectations are now as we get ready to go to the 12th. Andre Ward tweeting.
You hit him hard, okay? You need that again.
Right here, Nonito. You got to give it all, Nonito. Last round. We got 3 minutes. We got to really give it all. You got to step in with aggressive pressure, okay? You got to step in, being aggressive pressure. Don't go too light. You got to be more aggressive. Let's go. You got to get that.
Let's try the double.
Fake him. Fake him. Don't go in for it, straight forward. Swing that right. And listen, don't give him a distance. Listen, damn it, it's 3 minutes we got. Go, damn it.
Here at Radio City Music Hall, we go to round 12. Final round.
I am told by producers in our truck that several writers at ringside are tweeting that they don't know what we're watching. They see the fight as much closer than do we. I still believe that we're seeing it well, and that this has been a one-sided affair in Rigondeaux's favor.
And
let's see what Donaire can do.
And I think Rigondeaux just hurt Donaire because you see Donaire on his bicycle right now. Yeah, Rigondeaux has hurt Donaire, then he hit him in the eye. Now he snatches him down to the ground. But he definitely hurt Donaire.
And Donaire is pawing at his right eye with his right glove.
Let's go.
And his nose is bleeding.
Donaire firing a left hook over the top. Look at how Nonito is holding the right glove pinned to his right eye.
Means he can't see out of that right eye too good, or he's seeing double.
And he gets hit with another left hand over the top by Rigondeaux. And a left hand to the body.
His eye is badly black and blued and looks like it's swelling up.
Yeah, it is. And he can't see out of but one eye more than likely, or either he's seeing double, so he's closing one eye so he only sees one.
Seeing double most likely.
Yep.
Quick right hook by Rigondeaux.
And Rigondeaux is really throwing some bombs.
Rigondeaux thinks he may have a chance for a knockout.
He's got to be careful too, because he's a little more square to Donaire's left hook.
Rigondeaux's trying to close the show. Another strike.
Suelta la cabeza. Suéltala. La cabeza. Let's go.
Donaire showing some heart.
The right eye is beginning to puff up badly, the result of the left-hand shot that Donaire took at the beginning of this round.
Yep, but Rigondeaux just showing to be the far superior fighter tonight.
Donaire has not lost since his second professional prize fight against Rosendo Sanchez 12 years ago. Rigondeaux hasn't lost a fight in more than 10 years. One of them is going to be disappointed tonight. One last big left hook swing for Donaire, and he motions to Rigondeaux, says, come at me, come on, let's fight, and it's over. And they're celebrating in Rigondeaux's corner, while they tend to Donaire's right eye in Nonito's corner.
Yep.
33% of you in the audience believe that Donaire won the fight. 2/3 of you believe Rigondeaux won. Roy Jones, what happened in the 12th?
Rigondeaux came and went right in this area with a counter left hand, landed a beautiful shot right in the eye of Donaire, and it really hurt Donaire, blew up that eye, ruined his vision for the rest of the round.
CompuBox found Rigondeaux landing 16 of 33 power shots in the 12th round, his high number for the fight.
If I go this way a little bit further.
Harold Letterman gave the 10th round to Donaire, 10-8, scored every other round in the fight for Rigondeaux. Harold, tell us about the official judges.
Okay, Jim. Who we got coming up first? Julie Letterman, my daughter, I think she's done a good job. You know, she learned on her own. I really didn't teach her all of that, Jim. I think everything she did on her own. As you know, she had Peter Quillin, 115-107, which is the same score that the other two judges had. Tom Schreck, good judge from Albany. He was in a controversy in this fight. He had, Jennifer Gonzalez, 117-111 over Sergey Zinzaruk in a very, very close fight. John Stewart, a real veteran, guy's been judging since 1978. He worked Bernard Hopkins, Tavoris Cloud. He absolutely had it right. 116-112 for Hopkins.
Thank you, baby. Hey.
Crowd buzzing here at Radio City Music Hall. Surely some of them are not frequent or regular fight fans, maybe wondering exactly what they saw. We here at HBO pretty secure in what we think we saw throughout the course of the fight. If there are writers at ringside who wonder how we think Rigondeaux was winning the fight, I wonder what they think they were seeing.
You know, as people always like that, Jim, you just have to listen to them and keep it moving.
And I'm now told, Roy Jones, that they are retallying the scores over across on the far side of the ring, so which is why we're waiting.
Maybe the writers know something that we don't know.
Maybe the writers know something we don't know.
But
that's exactly right.
We got the best judge in the house right here on our team. So even if they don't get it right, I know our judge got it close.
Well, out of loyalty to his daughter, he would say he's one of the 2 best judges in the house.
That's true. I certainly never
now
said
Rigondeaux and Donaire waiting in the ring, and Michael Buffer has the results. Let's go to Michael for the official result.
Here at Radio City, we go to the scorecards. John Stewart scores it 114-113. Tom Schreck, 115-112. Julie Letterman, 116-111. All to the winner by unanimous decision. Guillermo Rigondeaux.
Well, I'm still going to say it. Those scores are unaccountably close by my lights.
Well, we still got it right, though.
Yep, he knew the winner. And Julie Letterman was the one who was closest to Harold Letterman's view of the fight. Of course, judges don't have a television monitor, and that gives us a little bit more intimate look in some instances. Bottom line is Rigondeaux gets the win that we all believe he so richly deserved. By unanimous decision, with hard punching in every round.
Yeah, he did a lot of pot shotting, Jim. He stayed outside. He threw one big shot at a time so that it didn't allow Donaire to catch him with the counter hook. He fought a very brilliant fight, but that's what you get when you have 400 amateur fights.
Thursday night, Donaire was celebrated, as he has been routinely for the past few months, as the 2012 Fighter of the Year. Tonight, he will congratulate Guillermo Rigondeaux for having taken his belts. Final CompuBox numbers, and they will turn up heavily in Rigondeaux's favor. Landing 47 more blows, throwing 44 more blows, landing at a significantly higher percentage. Power shots, landing 9 more, throwing 38 fewer, landing at a significantly higher percentage. Chaos in the ring, as you might expect, in an unusual venue. All of the seating, by and large, on one side of the ring. Here on stage, mostly media and a few very privileged fans, and now the most privileged man of all, Max Kellerman, in the ring to talk to the fighters. Let's go there.
Congratulations, Guillermo. Give us your impression of the fight.
Bueno, como te dije anteriormente, yo te dije que iba a hacer mi trabajo. Y lo hice.
As I told you before, I told you I was going to do my job, and I did it.
There was some booing from the crowd. Boxing purists will love this, but it's not for everyone. What do you have to say for the people who look at this and say, not for me?
Bueno, yo creo que el público que ve esta pelea saben y pueden apreciar el buen boxeo y la buena calidad, y vieron lo que hice hoy, que lo hice lucir como yo quise.
The people that saw this fight, the people that know boxing, saw that it was a very good fight, there was quality, and I made him look the way he looked, which was bad, and I looked great.
You did look great, and you did it against the kingpin of the division, one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in boxing, a guy who's been just destroying weight classes. How did you do it?
Bueno, ustedes lo vieron, el boxeo, los movimientos, se frustró. Y ya vieron lo que pasó, ya no pudo, con un golpe no se gana la pelea.
You saw it, boxing, movement, and he was frustrated. And with one shot, you just don't win a fight.
He was able to land that shot. How did he do it? How did you react?
Sí, Donaire es un excelente boxeador, buen pegador. Tengo conocido que es muy disciplinado para su entrenamiento, pero con un solo golpe no se gana un combate. Puede que sí, puede que no, depende.
He's an excellent fighter. He's got a great punch, but with one shot, you just don't win it. I know he's a professional and he really trains very well, but with one shot, you just can't win a fight. Sometimes you can, though.
What do you want to do now?
Ahora, ¿qué quieres hacer?
Bueno, ¿qué quiero hacer? Bueno, esperar. Yo sí peleo con el que me ponga, pero eso no quiere decir que Donaire no es un excelente boxeador, porque es muy bueno y muy disciplinado.
I'll fight against whomever comes up, but Donaire is a very disciplined fighter and a great fighter.
And so are you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey. Bueno. Más respeto, más respeto.
Gracias, profe.
Nonito, what happened tonight?
Well, first of all, I just want to apologize for not giving you what I wanted to say and wanted to deliver. I apologize again, but thank you guys so much for coming out, giving me a lot of support. So I love you guys. Thank you so much. You know, the last round and the last 2 rounds, I got stupid. You know, I didn't really feel his power until that last round, and you know, I got too carried away. I wanted to take him out so bad, and I fell in love with that. But again, you know, I only have much respect for Rigondeaux for a beautiful boxing that he gave me. You know, again, we just got to come out and then go back to the drawing board.
You're at a point in your life. You have a baby on the way. You move into a big house in Las Vegas. You're making more than $1 million a fight. You're a big star. Maybe as a Filipino-American, the guy to take over from Pacquiao as he gets older. Is it an issue? You said it's a vulnerable moment for you. Did that play in here?
Well, there's a lot of pressure. Aside from that, not only that I'm gonna be out with my baby, but to be honest with you, for the last three fights, I mean, I'm not taking away anything from Rigondeaux, but I needed the surgery on my shoulder. I've torn my ligaments for about three years, but I'm telling you, no excuse. Like I said, I'm gonna do it. I'm giving everything to Rigondeaux, but that's what I'm gonna do is go back to drawing board, get the surgery fixed. But again, you know, he played a beautiful boxing game, and it was my mistake for not changing up.
No fighter is ever 100% going into a fight, so fans can hear that as an excuse, not intended that way by you. Are you a victim of your own success in a way? You've fought a lot of top fighters, you've obliterated them, and so you haven't had to refine your skills maybe enough for a guy like this who's almost as mythical status as an amateur legend and has done so well as a pro and is such a skillful fighter.
Again, you know, we thought that we can get him. I didn't do my job, which was to throw jab and go on the left side. But you know, I just wanted to take him out, and I fell for that success. I fell for that power, the vulnerability that he had, and you know, there's no excuse. He beat me tonight. You know, I thought it was a very close fight, but you know, it's just we got to go back to drawing board and be better. And that's the thing is be better from this point on. You know, we didn't disappoint. We gave it all we got. You know, and that's the only thing that I can give with my trainer. They're proud of me. Give it all I got. That's all I got. And I want to thank everybody again.
Finally, do you want to get right back in there with him? Is this something where you want to get the surgery, fight the tune-up maybe, and then look for it? Or as a competitor, you thinking right away you want to get right back in with Rigondeaux?
We want to go back to. We want to go up in the division now because I was struggling to make this weight. But we would like to rematch with him. You know, we made a mistake, and we didn't do nothing. I didn't study, and that was a mistake that I did. Again, I felt for the. You know, I can make this happen if I really go in there. Like I said, I never studied the fight, and I should have.
Thanks, champ.